Oh, okay, recording. What's up, everybody? This is another episode of Community Talk. Today we're just gonna be talking about the year 2020. Yay! We're gonna be talking about the year 2020 and just some personal stories, some personal outlooks, and stuff like that. This episode specifically, we just want to keep it short. We're just gonna time responses now, and we're just gonna you know make sure that we get from one point to another, pretty much, right? So yeah, let's get into it. So question number one. So what is your personal outlook on 2020? What have you lost and what have you gained? Whoever wants to take the floor.
Let me go first, just in case I end up having to leave.
No worries.
Lost? I think I've lost about 5 people this year that I know personally. Went to 3 funerals. But I think that I haven't completely found myself, but I found myself because I had so much time to spend with myself. 2020 was a really horrible year, but I think it showed me how resilient I am, because even with this semester I was working 2 jobs. I volunteer a whole bunch. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm just a part of a whole bunch of organizations. And then on top of that, I have a big family and I have younger brothers that I'm like their mom, because my mom has to work all the time. So I was doing I had to drive them to practice when they were going to school before COVID locking down stuff. I was handling that and everything. And I still managed to finesse a 4.0 this semester, which is insane, because it was late nights. I had to stay up so many times because I couldn't work during the day because people were home during the day. So I think that as much as I lost, I also gained a lot, and losing people made me realize how important the people were in my life, because one person I lost, I hadn't seen him in a few years, and it was a whole bunch of every time I was supposed to go to an event that we would both be there, I'd put it off. And now I'm just I was really mad at myself for a while for being why did I just go, now look, now I can't even say goodbye. I don't even get to see him anymore. And I blame myself a lot, but I think now I'm just I couldn't have known, right? But that's why it's just so important that while you're here, while you have the time, to be very intentional with your relationships, making sure that you're always telling the people you love that you love them, going to events, no matter how you're feeling about it, because those memories are more important than anything, really. Just to keep it short. That's me, 2020.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Anyone else?
I'll go next. I'll say like this. 2020 was a wild one. Lost some people on the way here. Couple heartbreaks here and there. A lot of disappointments. And for me, getting declined from my program at the U of A was the last straw. For me, I took it upon myself to take drastic measures and just completely focus on myself and my goals. My long-term goal is one day play in the NFL, and me getting into school is contingent with that. So for me, a step I took to alleviate that situation was delete all my social media. I really had to take it upon myself to dedicate myself towards my studies and really, be serious with my future, because basically my future is on the line. It's a situation where the only way I can play is if I'm in school. So that was one aspect of my life that I really took charge of. And I guess looking back, this last half of 2020 was really about growth, developing a mindset where I can be comfortable being by myself, enjoying my own company. And I feel like that's the biggest lesson I learned this year in 2020 is, I guess, abundance by enjoying your own company and just being completely independent. I feel like I am a testament to that statement. And actually, next week, I'm going to Los Angeles by myself. And it's my first time ever traveling solo. So I feel like it's a really big step towards just being a big man, I guess, you know? But yeah, 2020 in a nutshell for me right there.
I'll go next.
Beautifully said.
Um, for me, um, I've been saying this phrase a lot lately, and I hope you don't mind if I cuss, but like I've been saying, like everything's a beautiful piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like there's so much great and so much bad happening. I think similarly to everyone else, like I've lost some people this year, um, and at the same time, I've gained more people. I've gained more than I've lost.
Sorry, can you talk a little bit louder?
Oh yeah. Like most people, I've lost people this year, but I've gained more than I've lost. Um, I remember like right when the first lockdown happened in March, somebody asked me what I want after all this. Like, what do I want coming out of a quarantine or coming out of a pandemic? And I was just like, I just want love. That's it. I just want to be surrounded by people that I know love me and people that I love. And then that's what I had all year. You know what I mean? I've been hanging out with a great group of friends that like I got closer to this year, and it's really helped me just like understand that like even if like shit's rocky, if you have something to be grateful for, then like this year reminded me to harp on those things. Like remind yourself of those things that you have to be grateful for, and like say it out loud that you're grateful for those things, not just in your head. You know what I mean? I've been praying. I'm not like a religious person, but I've been praying. I just wake up and I just say I'm grateful. I make sure those are the first words I say and the last words that I say every day. And this year, I guess in a nutshell, has been very testing, a very testing time. It's very it's showing me what really matters to me. You know what I mean? It's like stripping everything away that I thought I needed and I thought that I loved, and it's showing me what really matters to me, and what I'm going to be taking going forth, and how to complete my mission here on Earth. You know what I mean? So that's my year.
I can go next. This year, like everyone, like I've lost a lot of people, more than I'd like to have lost. A lot of family members that I didn't have the chance to meet or talk to. Most of my uncles are actually gone. But despite all of the death and all of the loss, the year has turned out in like a more personal way really, really well. Like this was the year that like everybody that I've talked to has said, like last year, you know, 2020 New Year's excuse me, resolution was like, this was the year, like everyone was going to get their shit together. Everyone was going to go off. Like this was the year, like everyone was, I remember talking about it during New Year's and everyone was like, this is the year. Like I remember saying that, and then this happened. And for a lot of people, it still turned out to be the year that they expected it, just like in a different way. And for myself, that's how it turned out. I had the highest average that I've ever had in my university career this year. And I got a full scholarship to pay off all my schooling. Like this year completely turned around, and I didn't want to say anything about it because I also found that like I've found some type of peace in myself, and like not talking to people and not saying too much and not going out anymore, and like not spending time with people that I used to spend time with, and not hanging around with the guys that I used to hang out with. Just like really finding peace within myself. and like becoming extremely independent. Not that I wasn't independent prior to, but like becoming extremely independent and like stopping seeing someone and like really focusing only on myself and nobody else. And that I've grown a lot, to put it simply. And I'm very, very grateful and very, very thankful that everything has turned out the way that it has, honestly. So.
Congratulations on your scholarship. That's so awesome. Jesus.
Thank you so much. I cried.
I'm sure you did.
Well deserved, honestly. Well deserved. No, thank you guys for sharing. Josh, if you want to go up next.
I can definitely jump in. Definitely 2020 there's been a lot of obstacles, to be honest. Again, a lot of deaths on my side as well. But for sure, this has been a time where it's been a lot of self-reflection. Obviously, with everyone, like in 2019, our day-to-day lives were like ongoing, on the fly. And then with everything halting and like in March, it was really shocking because I just finished up like running a networking event for our business club. And then 2 days later, everything went in a downward slope, to be honest. And me kind of being like an extrovert, it kind of stuck just being again at home the majority of the time and stuff. But again, it was really just about resiliency, honestly. In the summer, I was grateful enough to have an internship. So I was able to work and still gain some knowledge over the course of the summer and stuff. But it was really about self-reflection and just being resilient to everything that was happening. It was and still is tough. I'm not going to lie. But just like Miles mentioned, just keeping in tune with your faith and stuff, and being of a Christian descent, just being grateful to God and stuff, has really just been trying to build a stronger relationship with Him as well. Because there was a point during this year where I kind of just like doing my prayers, I was just going through the motion. Like I don't even read the Bible like that, as I used to be in the past. And so really tapping into that now and just like building that faith, continuing forward has been really important. And similar to Celine mentioning, just focusing on yourself as well, and just working on your own self as an individual has been really some of the lessons that you kind of learn. I mean, yeah, for some people, 2020 might be okay. Everything was just negative, but there's obviously something that you can take out of it that is gonna be positive at the end of the day. So, although I didn't like this year at all, there is some stuff that I can take away from it that's gonna help me, and I'm sure that's helping you all moving forward in the future. So, those are some of the things I wanted to point out with 2020.
Beauty said, guys. Yeah, thank you guys for sharing. Actually, I think I'm not sure who mentioned it. I think it was Celine or Olga that mentioned something about New Year's resolution. But that's literally our next question. These are short questions, so I'm just gonna ask these questions and see what you guys have to say about it. So the next question is, do you guys believe in New Year's resolutions?
No. Frankly, every day is every day to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna keep it short, but like, time is relative. Like, time is just something that we kind of like made so that we have a better grasp on like just this thing called life. Like, January 1st ain't no different than December 31st to me. Like, someone made a calendar. You know what I mean? That's a human creation. That's not a universal creation. So like, if you want to change your life, just start it. Do it when you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I gotta go, so I'm gonna answer real quick. I remember one time, I don't remember what me and my brother were talking. My brother's like super, so he's a football player, like wants to go to the NFL, Ronnie. And he watches all these like motivation videos, listens to a lot. He's all about self-growth all the time, tons of self-help books. And I remember I was telling him something that I wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna wait. I used to actually believe in resolutions. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna wait till the new year. And he just straight up was like, why don't you just do it right now? And I was like, pause. Like that was a very valid question. I was like, why don't I just, like, what is stopping me? Oh yeah, you know Mandela. But yeah, I was like, what is stopping me from doing it right now? Absolutely nothing. And that's when I was like, the change you want to see and the change that we put and push to the new year and keep pushing is, I also, like, that was me. I was like, time is just relative. Like, I could just do it now. It'll be the same thing. If anything, I'll be further ahead than if I wait to start in January, right? Like, I think it was like November or something. I think the only thing with like starting in January is that it helps me to like track things, because it's like, oh, come from a completely fresh start. Like, it's obviously not really fresh, but I can be like, okay, from January to this time, and it's like easier to keep track that way. But in terms of just like resolutions, it's like, if you really want to make a change, you're not going to wait for a made up day. Like, you're going to start that change because you want to in that moment, and you know that you have to. Okay, but yeah, I have to go back to work. Sorry, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you, Olga. Take care. Have fun today.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
I can quickly add on to that as well. Like one of the things that even me and my pops talk about, one of our mottos is like, time squandered cannot be reclaimed. So us like postponing, like you're kind of postponing your growth in a sense, because you have so much like, what is it, December 27th, you have about a few more days before it's January 1st. What's stopping you from writing out your 5-year plan right now? Like I mean, that's just real. Like, you can do 5-year plan wherever the case is, but like, what's stopping you from doing it right now? Like, there's so many resources at your disposal. Like, why do you want to stall that process? Like, yeah, I know it's kind of the norm to say, well, yeah, New Year's resolution, like, let's just wait till January 1st to start hitting the gym. But like, tomorrow's Monday. Like, what's stopping you from hitting the gym tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like, and it's the same thing with whether it be like looking for a job or whatever the case is. Like, you don't want to stop. Like, we're endlessly going to be losing time. Like, time is always against us. So like, you shouldn't stall and just wait for that big New Year's resolution to just somehow expect something new to happen, right? So yeah, for me, I try my best not to waste time, like, because time is always against us. So
I can go next. In terms of like, the new year, new me, New Year's resolution type of thing, I wasn't really a firm believer in it, but just being in your thoughts and feelings and just reflecting on the year, the stuff that you've gone through, I really took it upon myself to, reflect on how much I've grown. And I've taken many W's in that sense. And I, especially the past couple days and weeks, I've been, really tackling my goals and what I want to accomplish. So like Josh was saying, in terms of like creating a plan for yourself, whether it's a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, shit, I got a 15-year plan, but really taking the time to create some thoughtful and actionable, goals for myself. And this year, especially like in 2021, I really feel like it was an opportunity for me to, just take a step to the side and really make sure that I'm dedicated and I'm thorough with the plans that I'm writing down and staying consistent so that my growth is not just, limited to 1 year. It's a constant elevation. So I feel like 2021, I'm really, I called it this the other day. I said 2021 is going to be, for me, the year of abundance. Like I said earlier, just developing that abundance mindset in all the type of affairs that I'm in. Basically, that's how I can um, share my thoughts about a resolution, I guess.
The same, honestly. I used to believe really hard in like New Year's resolutions and stuff, but in the last couple of years, I've kind of just been like, if I want to start something, what's stopping me from starting it right now? I definitely understand in setting goals for like the year if you want to like start planning out, but like even within that, I generally like start in December and I'm like, what do I actually like want to accomplish next year? Like, is it like a timeline thing, or is it just like, do I want to start working out more, like anything like that? And generally like I'll start beforehand, but definitely on the same page with pretty much everyone here. So.
No, that's beautifully said. I I honestly believe in the same thing. If I'm being completely honest, I guess like when we were younger, it was a little bit different, right? We see the Facebook statuses like New Year, New Me. Like we have people hyping up the New Year and stuff like that. But I felt like it really changed for me personally. Like as soon as I considered myself an adult, because I was just kind of like why should I wait for a certain date to get something done or to change anything, right? And Miles and I were talking like I want to say like 2 days ago, Miles, right when we were on the phone. We were talking like 2 days ago, and he expressed something that he wanted to do, and like I basically told him I was like, hey, like if you want to do this, like take the first step, like take the initiative to to do something that will lead on to that change. You get what I mean, right? And I'm a firm believer in like if you really want to you know change something within yourself or like within your circle, right? The first initiative step, no matter how small it is as important. Like you get what I mean, right? Like it could be like I wanna stop drinking juice, right? Like you don't have to wait until January 1st to stop drinking juice. Like you can literally just be like all the packets of juices that you have, give it away. Like you know what I mean, right? Like right at that day, right? And then like that will lead on to like next year January 1st. You're like, whoa, like it's been like this much days that like I stopped drinking juice, right? Just like with anything, but yeah, man, like that's how I feel about New Year's resolutions as well. um I stopped believing in them because I feel like you can literally make change like right in this moment, like right when you're like speaking that I want to change this, it could happen right at that moment. So um yeah, so we
I think
have
though,
the go
sorry, I
on.
just wanted to add one more thing. I think though, like I do understand and I feel for the for people that like push it to that big day like January 1st, because the willpower to really make that change, it is tough. Like whatever the case is, it is tough to just initiate that process. Like setting that timeline, like the planning phase is fine to, and it's pretty straightforward to do, but actually executing that plan is very tough at the beginning. Like anything that you really do, whether that be even preparing for your midterms during the semester or your finals, like that process is tough. And or executing a project similar to like the community talk, it is that execution phase, it is tough. So that's kind of my additive sense on that.
Actually,
I just want
Josh,
to talk
like
to Josh real quick, too. I remember in the summer, actually, the day I found out I wasn't getting into business, I called Josh. He knows the conversation we have, but basically, what took away from me, he said, like, it's been a few years, you've been trying to, get into the school. And he told me something different I have to do is start developing a relationship with God and, really looking towards my faith, developing a stronger bond with my faith. But also, he was stressing how important it is to take initiative and actions. And I believe in that so strongly. And I believe that I really walked the walk because I made a complete 180 from my GPA from last year. Now I finished with like a 3.5 GPA. So shout out to Josh.
No, of course, yo, but
beautiful.
at the end of the day, yo, it was all on you, because people can say like we can motivate each other, but at the end of the day, it comes down to your intrinsic motivation. Like it really comes down to yourself, and so you had the willpower to continue on. I was able to just give a few words of advice, and you just continue going and continue growing. So it's good on
100%.
you, bro.
I'm actually happy you said that because that's the thing as well, right? Like for anyone that like likes to give word of advice and help friends or whatever, right? Or people that seek advice, right? It really just comes down to you at the end of the day, right? Like same thing with the New Year's resolution. Like you can write down whatever you want, but it really just comes down to like you committing and you putting time aside for what you want to achieve, right? And it's never easy, you know. We can't sit here and act as if like, you know, what we want to achieve in life is easy, no matter how big or small it is, right? So I know Miles wants to say something as well.
Oh, I was just gonna say to Ronnie, that like what Josh said about it being all on you, that was true. Is like you wanted something, and you bounced off of him, and he was a reflection of you. You saw in him what you already wanted, but you already wanted that, and you knew what you wanted, so you went and got that. You know what I mean? And thank God that Josh was there to reflect for you. But at the end of the day, like if you want something, you can have it. You can definitely have it. It just you gotta. It's dependent on what you're willing to sacrifice, and that's what you spoke about earlier. You sacrifice being on the internet and being on social media. You probably sacrifice some of your social life. You know, at least for the time being. But yeah, again, that's what you wanted, so you got it. Or you're getting there. It's continual growth, like you said.
Exactly. And growth will never come like instantly, you know, like, you know, it's gradual. It's gradual, you know, like every month, every season, all of that. You get what I'm saying, right? It's gradual. So you just keep growing and growing and growing and growing, right? And the little steps, the baby steps that you take will eventually turn into walks, right? And then like the walks will turn into runs, and then the runs will turn into you flying, right? That's literally it, right? So I know Ronnie wanted to add something before we go to the last question.
No, no, I'm good. I'm good.
If actually if you want to answer this for me, actually, so the last question, or it's not really a question but a statement, is anything motivating you would like to share with the viewers?
Yeah, I pretty much said it all, but I feel like anyone that's going through similar situation like me, because I know like, my friends, they know like in terms of the past couple of years, like it's been a lot of adversity, and even actually a month ago, I had a meeting with my coach just to chop it up, and it's been a while since we spoke, and he's just telling me just how much he's seen me grow. Like he's been watching me play football since high school, 2015, and he said the fact that I've been through so much and I didn't even think about giving up, or I just kept fighting through whatever it was, and the fact that I'm here, like 3.5 GPA, full scholarship to play football. He said it's really a testament to how much I've grown, and I just had to take a chance to look back and be like, yeah, like I've definitely been through a lot, and I'm still stood tall, still growing, work in progress. But I feel like my journey is a journey of a beautiful struggle. Basically, is what I would say.
Beautifully said, beautifully said. Anyone else? Josh?
Yeah, in terms of motivation, again, it really comes down to yourself. Like I can say a lot of things, but like just like for example, like setting our goals, like you want to make sure that they're smart goals. So like you want to make sure like they're specific. I'm not sure if y'all heard this acronym before, but specific, measurable, achievable. Forget the last two. Sorry, guys. But essentially, you, in terms of motivating others, like we can give positive energy along the way, but it really comes down to yourself, and are you willing to put in the work every day? I don't know people's personal lives like that, so I can't really justify and say, you know what, I know what you're going through, because I don't know what you're going through. But what I do know is that there's certain fundamental elements that you can use along the way that are going to help you continue to grow. Um, it really just comes down to your intrinsic motivation at the end of the day. Um, if you're really willing to put in that work, it's not easy. I never said it's easy, but it does take time, and we got to be patient with the process. So
Whoever wants to go next, Celine or Miles.
Fucking no. Well, um, yeah, no. Honestly, what Ronnie and Josh said are spot on. I think that one thing that people like to forget or don't really think about is like taking that time and that moment for like yourself. And like, yes, you have goals and they're, you know, like my goal this year was to actually start working out again. I have not worked out or played any type of sports since I left high school. And like being a high performing athlete in high school and then coming down to like not doing anything for 3 years is hefty. So getting back into that groove was a lot of pain, a lot of crying, a lot of like frustration. But like taking those moments, even when like you don't want to do it and like pushing yourself to do it, and then taking those moments afterwards and being like, I'm grateful for how far I've come, or I'm good for like I'm grateful for what I'm doing, or like look at me go, I'm proud of myself. Like taking those like small little moments and actually congratulating yourself in the moments that you have and how far you've come. Like every single day that you work on yourself or work on whatever goal you have, you're a step ahead of what you were 2 days ago, an hour ago, whatever. So like taking those moments and congratulating yourself and actually looking at how far you've come as a person is really, really important, and something that I've learned to do more this year for sure. So
Just before I answer, the SMART goal acronym was specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. I had to search that up for the boy real quick. I thought
real one. Thank you.
I thought about it while you guys were answering, and like I love saying motivational shit. I'm always out here talking to people, but it stumped me for a second, and I think because like it's hard to just like come up with something to like generally motivate people. I guess anything you say, someone will find something in it, but I guess what I would say is very simple, and it's what I tell people who are worried about being too late on things, and it's that you're always on your own time. I truly believe that. Um, and it's that simple. I don't think there's much more I can say, but it's you're always on your own time. Whenever you want or need something, um, that's when you should or you will do it. I don't personally worry about if I'm too late to be this kind of artist, or if I'm jumping on an opportunity too late. Sometimes you do miss opportunities, and like it is what it is. You know what I mean? You have to be you have to be able to detect when it's the time to jump on the ship. But I believe that we're always on our own time. Same with New Year's, same with any like calendar or goal that you want to set is like it's all you. You know what I mean? No one else, just you. Whenever you have the time, whenever you feel it's appropriate, and go for that. You know what I mean? Don't worry about no one else's time or age or your place. Just do you, you know? Real simple.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Beautifully said. Yeah, like beautifully said. I really like this group. I really like what you guys bring to the table. You guys always have stories to share and stuff like that. And I really like that. I just want to share a little personal things that I've learned, you know, during this 2020, and I'll wrap it up with like any motivational thing I have to share with the viewers. Um, you know, like Celine said, you know, we 2020 was supposed to be like that year, right? And I feel like especially for our generation, because like this is the year that like we, you know, we've peaked in adulthood, you know, no matter like whatever peak means to you. But I feel like, you know, in adulthood, like we really like we're not kids anymore. Like this is really like us being adults and us being like, okay, like this is our generation. Like we control the atmosphere, we control the tempo and stuff like that, right? I had a lot of goals for myself, you know, at the time were very attainable, And years prior to that, those goals weren't even like in my, in my vision. And then all of a sudden it came, within my vision. I was like, wow, like I can really do these things where like, I can uplift my career. I can, help others around me, and I can just, move forward. And then, um, Corona came by. And once Corona came by, I almost said chromas, but no, I almost said chromas. But yeah, Corona came by, and basically, it just had change of plans, right? It just had a lot of change of plans. And the thing that I've lost, I want to say that, I want to say I lost people specifically, but I've seen people die during that season, whether I knew them personally or I didn't. Um, you know, I've lost, certain relationships. um I think I just lost, like, opportunities as well, which I think hurt me the most, because sometimes you work so hard for something and it's within your reach or within your fingertips, and then like it just fades away, right? And that was really a hard pill to swallow. But the other thing that I think I gained a lot of, like, self-awareness, right? Corona kind of forced us to stay at home, stay within ourselves, like, within our bubble. And it really forced us to, like, kind of look at ourselves in a different light, like more so like, yo, like, you be eating this same cake every single day. Like, maybe you shouldn't be eating this cake every single day, right? But, pre-corona, you just were doing a whole bunch of stuff that didn't even click in your mind. But now that you're sitting alone, just watching a movie, you're eating this cake like 3 times a day, you're like, okay, maybe I should chill on that, right? Um, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I gained as well. I think I started reading more, a lot more. I started praying more. I started just, appreciating people around me more as well. Like, Miles knows me. Like, I'm a guy that's a super go 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 go. And I love people around me. Don't get me wrong, but there's times where, like, you know I kind of just ignore people and just focus on what I need to do, and sometimes that's not the best thing to do, right? And I feel like this corona just kind of just forced myself and people around me to, you know um to appreciate the people around them, like specifically family, right? um my motivational thing that I have to say to the viewers is just be patient with yourself, and it's not your fault, you know. That's the one thing that I want to stress. It's not your fault, right? A lot of people, when corona hit, kind of found alternatives or finesses to kind of go around this whole corona thing and still reach what they wanted to reach. And I really applaud those people. But to those people that can't achieve what they set their goals for, be patient with yourself, because at the end of the day, it's like you have so many years ahead of you. You can do whatever you want, right? Sometimes, like, sometimes you need to sit on the bench and analyze the game in order to start. You get what I mean, right? And I feel like that's the biggest thing that I want to stress, and that I had to stress to myself, is that, like, yo, don't be hard on yourself, and it's not your fault. The only thing that you can control is, your reaction and what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that I really have to say. If anybody wants to end it off, we'll close it off.
Yeah, what do you all got? What are you all looking forward to? Just what's something you guys are looking forward to? Not necessarily about the year 2021, but like just upcoming in your lives.
So then go on.
I'm looking forward to graduating university. I still have 2 years, but like I'm in my third year and like time has flown past. So I'm really excited to graduate university and see. I'm also really scared because everyone that I've talked to that has a political science degree, no one's using it for politics other than one person. So that's a bit horrifying for me. But I'm excited to see where it takes me.
Is that what you want to use it for?
I want to work for the government of Canada and cannabis policy.
Free the man them. Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah, I want to speak as well. Actually, I think the most thing that I'm looking forward to, just in general, is just it's growth. You know, every year has been like that for me, but this year more specifically because I felt like I had to be very patient with myself and others. Like I'm a person that gets very annoyed and very bothered by a lot of small things. And I feel like this year kind of just tested me, just being like, this time you really can't get annoyed and bothered by small things. And this year you have no excuse to be vulnerable, or like the tough guy. Like you gotta be vulnerable. You gotta like open yourself up. You gotta talk to people, right? So I feel like I'm just looking forward to growth. I'm just looking forward to seeing other people in my circle, the people that I love, just at such a easiness and mental state where like if they do if they do face challenges, it won't be something that's gonna drain them completely. It's just gonna be something that's that they can fight off, or something that they can embrace, but then later on just use that as motivation. You feel me? So
I'll quickly add mine before I go. Uh, I'm pretty excited just to kickstart my next chapter of my career. I was kind of like relieved, I guess, finishing off my last semester, everything being online. But hopefully for you, Celine, that you're able to walk the stage in a couple of years, which will probably be nice. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to my next chapter of my career in supply chain. Hopefully something does open up anywhere across Canada, to be honest. But I'm also looking forward to strengthening family bonding with not just my family, but even like some distant relatives as well. Because again, life is short, so still want to strengthen those and build some connections from there. So yeah.
This year, I'm really excited to see how competitive I can get. In terms of school, this past semester I faced some of the toughest classes that's been my Achilles heel and just absolutely dominated it. And this next semester I'm about to take calculus, and that's from what I've heard, it's a challenging class. So I feel like sports and just school has been really interchangeable in terms of like how competitive I could be, because I feel like it's the same type of idea. And in terms of sports, I feel like I'm in the best spot in my career. You know, coaches out here treating me like I'm the second coming, so got a lot of shoes to fill. But I'm really excited just to see how competitive I get, and on top of becoming more independent and just realizing the potential for growth that's available to me for this next upcoming year.
what about you, Miles?
I forgot that I had to answer too.
Mhm.
Man, I'm looking forward to seeing my friends, my best friends, man. That's it, man. And all my guys are in different provinces right now, and it's hurting me, man. Like I miss my boys big time. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing my boys soon, man. Cause I don't usually go this long without seeing my friends. Like Chauncey, I haven't seen this guy in like it'll be like 2 years. Like this summer, like what? I haven't been back to Nova Scotia in like 3 years. So it's just killing me, man. It's killing me. But I'm hanging in there, seeing them when I can, like on FaceTime, and yeah, looking forward to seeing family as well, distant, like that lives in different provinces. I love going up to Nova Scotia to see my family. So I gotta go do that. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time there.
One sorry, one thing I also want to add is one thing that I'm looking forward to as well is just you know, more love, more love. That's what I'm looking forward to as well. No, and also like when I say love, I don't mean like in a relationship way or like in a movie way. More so, just like people just being more united and more just more like open and more forward and stuff like that, right? Just more love within our community and just the world would just be nice to see, and I feel once the world opens up, hopefully we're gonna see that more, right? Because like everybody will just be like, man, like this was tough, and I finally get to see people, and I'm surrounded by such loving energy. Like you get what I mean, right? So I'm looking forward to that. Like um, spaces that like Miles have, like half a concert, spaces like Caruza, just kicking it with Reezy and the homies and stuff like that, just finally just being around people and just being like, like I just want to be surrounded by love. I just want to give out hugs. I want to see how people are doing. I want to, just smile and laugh with like strangers, like what I mean, right? Just stuff like that. So there's been a lot of lack of love this year, but I think that's very important.
And I'm looking forward to the new Edmonton fam touching down in T dot. Yo, we're gonna get it popping. Gonna get
Those from Edmonton people been random for sure, bro. I can't even lie, bro.
Bro, y'all would love Toronto.
y'all gotta
Y'all would
make it
love
out,
Toronto.
man. You gotta show you Wagwan.
Yeah,
I'll touch
y'all would
Edmonton
love.
one time, but when it's warm.
Yeah, when it's warm. Yeah, coming when
You
it's warm.
won't find me in the prairies anywhere after October.
Bro, come around like same thing, like August, July.
Last question.
Go
I
ahead, go
really
ahead.
see the next stages of the Black Renaissance. Like I feel like
Yeah.
this summer it made me realize like we're in such a beautiful stage in this world where, first of all, Black businesses has been the most profitable in documented civilization history. I feel like this summer it really turned all of us into activists, and people that didn't concern themselves with current events or social justice, they got to see firsthand that you're a Black person first and foremost before any type of title, and just being a part of the protests and seeing the social justice movement unfold firsthand, it just really put into perspective that Black is just so beautiful. We're all professionals. There's a lot of people in different spaces that are opening the doors to create that Black generational wealth and closing down on the racial wealth gap as well. And one thing that I'm actually very passionate about is seeing justice reform in the States, allowing people that caught charges over $20 a week on life sentences. There's so many brothers and sisters locked up from way back 80s, 70s, and seeing the justice reform work being done in the States, that's part of the reason why I want to go to law school. I feel like I have the obligation, to collect the power, I say, get a seat at the table and being able to, sit down with these white folks, take a stand on, some of these systematic policies and things that have been keeping us locked down in terms of the prison industrial pipeline. That's just that was not to stray off topic, but yeah, basically I'm just excited to see how much Black excellence is going to be accelerated this next year.
Bro, when you said collective power, I just thought about Thanos and the Affinity Gems or whatever, and that's exactly what I thought. My bad, Celine. You want to say something?
Oh, for the record, there are still 40,000 people behind bars on low or simple possession charges in the United States. You can go to lastprisonerproject.com to actually help those people get free.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Said. Beautiful. All right. This is it, guys. Thank you for joining. As always, I you know what? I think I enjoyed this one the most. If I'm being completely honest, I think everybody just came on and just was just being completely honest with this one. So thank you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause coming on, and I will see you guys later. Deuces. Everyone throw up a peace sign. Hey.